Well, again, good morning, everyone. As I mentioned earlier in the service, this week is a little different. It's our fall lunch. And I think this is a great moment for us just to pause together and take a breath. So many things in our world are about getting somewhere, going somewhere. You know, the chart that's going up and up and up and up, and always better and always more. There's so many ways in which we put pressure on ourselves to continue growing, continue developing, go someplace else, be farther than we are now. And it's a deep desire here in this community that we kind of take a pause from that and remember that as a community, we're not trying to get somewhere. We have a sacred story that we rehearse together week in and week out. And we sit together at a common table where all belong, week in and week out. And we long to be animated by divine love, that what moves us in the world would be not fear or guilt or shame, but love. But those are things that we're not off to run toward, get better at, be more, but rather just to deepen into as we lap the sun together year in and year out. And so as we jump into a new year together, this isn't, ta-da, razzle dazzle, we're off to a new place together, everybody. No, we're just going to do the same thing we did last year with some different thoughts and different opportunities, but we're just deepening together into a community. And our hope is that over years and years and years together, that these things settle into our soul in ways that make for peace. So this year we want to invite you warmly to join us in what we're doing together as a community. I want to start by speaking about some of the key themes. Every year we have 2 or 3 different deepening themes, things that we're just going to keep coming back to again and again that seem to be rising up in the life of our community. And the first of these is crafting a trellis for Christian life. At Pearl Church, we cultivate these rhythms, sacred story, common table, divine love, in ways that accord with Jesus' ancient invitation to follow his way of being. But for each individual person in this community, those rhythms are going to find expression in different practices or habits or rhythms or things that are part of your life that form a trellis. A trellis is that structure in a garden that allows a plant to grow up and to become most fully itself and to extend itself outward. And so our desire is that our community would be more and more intentionally helping you shape your trellis, your way of life that supports these rhythms, that supports you in deepening the sacred story, that supports you in being around an inclusive common table, and that supports you in being animated by divine love. And part of that is we want to help our community find a sustainable balance between the ways that Pearl Church is part of your trellis and the ways that parts of your life elsewhere are also part of your trellis. So that forms a sustainable, healthy, whole way of being. So we'll be talking about that quite a bit this year together. We're also going to be thinking a lot about deepening into Christian wisdom and tradition together. We live in a time where postmodernism and also COVID have contributed to breaking down some of the frameworks that gave shape to our lives. And some of those frameworks needed to break down, and some of them have broken down through atrophy or through difficulty. And one of the results of that is that there's this sense of untetheredness in our world that leaves us with some big questions about how do we make community? How do we chase after meaning? How do we find a good life together? And throughout the ages, there's long been a Christian wisdom tradition that has been made up largely of outsiders, people who are speaking outside of the institutions, the mystics, the women, the marginalized, the poets, that invite us into this very compelling engagement with these fundamental questions. And so at Pearl Church this year, we're going to be digging deeper into that wisdom tradition to find its wisdom and its teaching for our lives today. And then finally, another key theme this year that you'll be hearing a lot about is visioning for Pearl's future. This is going to be, Mike, it's going to be our 25th year this year. Yeah, 25 years as a community together. And it feels like a good time to pause and ask, where are we headed together? What does it mean to move from being a young church that's just getting established to an established presence in the Portland community? I'm not going to go too much into this because Leah will be talking about this later this morning, but this will be something you'll be hearing a lot about this year, is our process of visioning for our future together. I'm going to invite Mike up now.
Well, I want to begin by saying how glad I am to be back. My sabbatical was lovely, but I have missed you all so much. And next Sunday I get to take some time to tell you about my sabbatical and what I did and how it went and how I grew and what kinds of things are inside of my heart as I come back to being a part of this community. So that'll be next week. This morning I get to talk about the many things that Pearl is going to be offering for you to partake in. As we return from summer fun and begin to settle down and enter into more consistent rhythms, our hope at Pearl is to provide offerings that encourage you and support you in living bountifully. And so I'm going to start by talking a little bit about preaching. Sitting together in a room around a sacred text, exploring its ancient meaning for today, is a holy moment. We don't have many moments like this in the world today. It's a liminal space that we hope stirs you and rouses you toward ever more flourishing. This ministry year will begin with a series titled A Trellis for Cultivating Rhythms, which will attempt to do what Ben was just talking about as one of our key themes for the year, to help us thoughtfully consider the stories that we listen to and think about and talk about, and the tables that we spend our time around, and the acts of service that are hopefully inspired by love. These three things hold our lives together, and we're going to spend some time talking about that. As we end ordinary time, we'll be in a series titled Discerning Goodness. Discerning goodness in creation, goodness in this process of transformation, goodness in uncovering ourselves, goodness in self-giving, and goodness in community. In Advent, we'll be in a series titled Held by Longing. I'm really excited about this series. We'll join with the prophets of the Hebrew Scriptures, noticing how the absence of justice, the absence of peace, the absence of healing, and yes, I'll say the word, the absence of equity, hold us in hope and guide our lives in passionate pursuit of good. And then in Lent, we'll be in a series titled Loving Animations. We're going to explore our relationship with fear and shame and guilt and duty, which often animate our lives. And we're going to see what the invitation of love might be and how love might set us free. Education. Our educational offerings seek to deepen us, sturdy us, widen us, wizen us through educational evenings, book discussions, and retreats. So you'll see here we have some upcoming educational offerings, Benedictine spirituality. We'll look at particularity and partnership. So that is about what does it mean to be particularly Christian, but to see yourself not as an adversary of everybody else, but actually in partnership with other disciplines, other traditions, other religions. In December, we'll offer a meditation on the joyful mysteries which come from the Rosary. And then in March, we will explore what is the gospel? What is salvation? Why have these good ideas become such harmful ideas in our world today? So that's what our educational evenings will look like. We have some classes and retreats. So we have our Reconstructing Christian Faith class. It's going to be offered over a 6-week period in the fall. And this is a great starting place if you're in the process of kind of tearing down the harmful dogma and ideology that you grew up with and you're wanting some help in that journey. We'd love to see you there. We also offer that as a retreat in the winter. So depending on if you're like a 6-week class person or a getaway for the weekend person, you can choose which to do. After the Reconstruction class, we have a Reimagining Christian Life. So a lot of people come out of the Reconstruction class and like, okay, everything's been torn down and I have these ideas in my head about how to move forward, but I don't know how to inhabit these things in my life. I don't even know how to reimagine them. And so we have a Reimagining Christian Life. It'll be a retreat in the fall, and we offer it as a class in the winter. And then in the spring, we're going to offer a third class, which kind of builds on the first two, called Re-inhabiting Christian Practice. And in my mind, this is kind of like Mountain Valley Mountain. Like you start in a place and then you tear it all down. What does it look like to get back to that place? Or it's the hero's journey. You leave home and all of these things happen and you come back to home, but you're this new person, but you're also the same person. The old persons are all still in you. What does it look like to re-inhabit some of these practices like prayer and Bible study and fasting and all of the things that might kind of make you feel yucky? What might it look like to re-inhabit some of those practices as a way to tether you in your goodness? So that'll be happening over the course of this next year. We also have some contemplative experiences that we'll be offering on a monthly basis. Moving into families, we want to be a community that supports families, enriching their life together. We want to support parents in loving, partners in loving well, and we want to support parents in parenting wisely. So we'll offer a non-dominion, non-violent parenting class. This is a really great opportunity for parents to come together, and we'll offer some principles on non-dominion, non-violent parenting, and then from there we'll just kind of jump into a conversation. So if you're a parent and you're wanting to brainstorm and consider these ideas together, we'd love to see you there. For partners, we're going to talk about love languages, intentionality, and loving your partner. Then in May, we're going to bring in Dr. Doreen Dodger-McGee. We had her last year. She's amazing, and she's going to talk about devices, which I think is an important conversation for all of us to have. There was a recent article in the Times with a bunch of, maybe you've seen it, a bunch of pictures, and it's people walking around, but they've removed the phones from everybody's hands, so everybody's just walking around like this, sitting like this, just looking at their hands, missing everything that's going on in the world. So we'd love to see you at some of those family offerings. Home groups are happening now. Home groups exist to cultivate our church's rhythm of common table by making space to gather together on a weekly basis. Our home groups intentionally nurture the sacred work of growing in relationship. Fall terms begin now. They'll be running, sign-ups begin now, running for 2 weeks. And on September 21st, our fall term will begin. If you're newer to Pearl, we invite you to hold off on joining a home group. Making a weekly commitment for 3 months is a big commitment. So before you do that, we just want to make sure that you feel good about being at Pearl. So jump into all of our other opportunities, and then we'd love to have you sign up for our winter home group term. And that way you know that you're going to feel really good about making the commitment to being a weekly group. And then we'll have a spring home group term, and then everybody gets a break in the summertime.
This year, I'm really excited to be introducing a set of contemplative experiences. I think this practice of slowing down and becoming present to where we are and finding silence and stillness is a really great thing for us to cultivate. And this year, we're going to do so in some different locations. So, like I said, this Saturday, we're going to the Japanese Gardens to do a practice of looking at beauty intentionally. In October, we're going to have a night where we're going to do this practice called Lectio Divina, which is a way of reading sacred text, but we're going to do so with poetry. Because sometimes the Bible gets a little too sticky for us, and we get stuck in the old ways of reading it. Poetry can set us free of it, so we'll practice with that. We'll do a centering meditation, which is a way of entering into stillness and silence in November, and then the 18th of December, we'll do a practice that's around the rosary. So these are just various kinds of opportunities, and we'll have more each month throughout the year. So those are, one more thing, connecting events. We also do just lots of fun things together because, all of that is great stuff, but sometimes you just want to be with other people and get to know them more socially and casually. So we do things like we're going to go on a hike in October. There's a very popular whiskey tasting night event. This one always fills out. That Dan and Sherry host at their house. It's a lot of fun. We do LGBTQIA+ events every other month throughout the year. And then in October, we'll have an opportunity, if you're newer in our community, to gather and get to know each other a little better. So just throughout the year, you'll see lots of different fun offerings for you to dive into whenever you want to. And we hope you'll take advantage of getting to know people here that way. So those are different ways that we invite you to partake. But we also want to invite you to participate in the work that we are doing in the world. Pearl Church is a family. And, in a family, you pitch in and find ways that you can be useful. And you get into the kitchen and you help start doing the dishes or unloading the dishwasher or whatever. And we want to make space for everyone, mostly for a way for us to feel together that we all own this community, that this is our community together. So that we have several teams that you could dive into in different levels of participation that we'd like to invite you to be part of. And the first is Sunday. Each Sunday, this is kind of one of our hallmark things we do together throughout the week. It's this anchor post for us, that week in and week out, we know there's a space here where we're going to center ourselves around this sacred story and participate in being a common table together. And so there's lots of different ways that you could participate in that, from co-hosting, which means reading the scriptures and helping serve Eucharist during the service, helping run the slides in the back, bringing flowers for the altar, or helping set up the altar before and tearing down after service. These are all ways that we together, what we're trying to do is create a space that is sacred and beautiful and invites us into divine presence week in and week out together. I would love to have you be part of setting that common table together.
Hi, my name is Brian. I direct the music program here at Pearl. You think that I am up here today to invite you to participate in singing. You think that I'm up here today to invite you to audition for the Sunday morning music team or to join one of our no audition holiday choirs. I actually have a way bigger ask of you today. I'm here today to invite you to fall in love. Singing together and being sung to is something that lovers do. Singing together and being sung to is something that parents do with their kids every night at bedtime. It is so intimate. It is so vulnerable if we will allow it to be. So my invitation to you is to come here each week with your whole heart. And I know that's scary. But my invitation to you is so much more than to just sing. My invitation to you is to fall in love, to fall into love, capital L, love. Please join me.
Gosh, thanks, Brian. Easy to follow. I'm Beth Fry, and I coordinate the Connecting Ministry here, and I often stand up and ask you to participate also. And I know you bring your whole hearts, and thank you for that. Like, for instance, the potluck today. I hope you're excited, and even if you didn't bring something, sign up, whatever, you are welcome. We always have a lot of food, especially desserts today. Okay. I'm up here to ask you, if you wish you had a magic wand that you could wave and change the world to be more like it is right here in this room. A community of people who come from all different ways, all different experiences, and are here because they want to be together and they want to form a community. If you want to change the world, build a community right where you are. We do that two different ways in particular at Pearl. And neither one requires you to be an extrovert, okay? One of them is greeting before services. It feels good to have somebody say, welcome, glad you're here, good morning. Another one is to help with a potluck. And today you are helping because you're going to help us eat those delicious tamales. And also people have helped set up, receive the food, and clean up. So I'll be available to have with a laptop to help you sign up just to be a possible greeter or potluck person, and I look forward to talking to you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm the toddler preschool coordinator. Our vision for our littlest is that they feel the divine's love every day. We seek to show them the love that everyone should know and help them see how they can show that love to others. Our hope is that they know that however they may grow and change, the divine's love will never leave them. One way we help them to remember that is our heart pillow. This is my daughter's. I did not steal it from the littles. They still have it back there. At the end of every circle time, we pass around our heart pillow and we say, Drew, Jesus loves you so much. So they always remember that no matter what, the divine loves them unconditionally. If you would like to help our littlest Pearl members feel the divine's love, please come see me in the landing.
Hi, I'm Drew. With our elementary kids. Getting to know Pearl's kids has been a major highlight of this community for me, and I genuinely think you would all love it. These kids are some of my favorite people at Pearl. Our vision for the elementary services is to make space where kids aged 5 to 11 can recognize and discover more about themselves and what makes them a special part of this community. I thought about describing our curriculum and class time, but instead I asked a few kids to describe what we do in our class. They said, we learn stuff about our church, we read stories, we learn the origins of some holidays, we learn about Jesus and the Bible. I don't know, I don't remember. Sometimes books kind of bore me. I have a playlist called Disney Dreams, and it has all my favorite songs on it. Yeah. And what kind of volunteers do we want? Fun adults, maybe? Someone like my mom or grandma. Grown-ups that might know lots of stuff. I don't really care. I think my dad can come next week. They'll volunteer you. You might think I don't know the Bible that well, or kids aren't really what I'm used to, and that's great. It turns out the kids don't really care. But genuinely, these kids are so special. If you're interested in getting to know our youngest church members, and maybe healing your own inner Sunday school kid on the way, I'm excited for you to get involved.
Oh, hi, I have a prompt this morning. Okay, my name's Kylie, I work with the youth at Pearl, and I was just thinking, who in their right mind wouldn't want to work with the youth at Pearl? So I gave it some thought and I made a list of people who might not want to. So here we go. Oh, you don't like fun? Don't work with the youth. You despise pizza? Don't even try. Don't work with the youth. Okay. Oh, you don't like summer camp? You don't like the joy of working with other affirming churches? Don't work with youth. Do you take a stand personally against gingerbread house competitions? Stop right there. Do not work with youth. And the big one, if you like feeling hopeful about this younger generation, stop. Do not work with youth, because hope abounds, okay? So if you don't relate to this list, then proceed with caution. Bet you by golly, wow, you might like working with them. So come and see me at the youth booth. Thank you.
Okay, those are incredibly tough acts to follow. My name is Leah. I am up here on behalf of the oversight team. And one of the things that we have been working on as an oversight team is casting an overall vision for the future of Pearl Church. No big deal. So specifically, we've been focused on looking towards the future of our space, our staff, and our ministries. And something we decided was that we didn't want to limit this process to a specific timeline. Instead, we're taking the approach of setting goals, acknowledging constraints, and then creating milestones that help us gradually walk towards the future that we envision. This approach allows us to have big, bold, beautiful dreams while also being realistic and good stewards. So we are inching closer to the point in this process where we want to ensure that what we are dreaming and envisioning aligns with the community's priorities and hopes. We want to get your feedback and your input. So if Pearl is a place that you call home, we're going to want to hear from you. So as you can see, there's a couple different ways that you'll be able to participate in this process towards the end of the year, later in the fall. We're going to send out an online survey so that we can collect information all in one place. And that gives everyone a chance to participate in a really anonymous and accessible way. And then if that's not your thing, we're going to create spaces that are a bit more, intimate, personal. So we're going to be visiting every single home group. We're planning on doing that in the winter term. And then we're going to hold a few listening sessions after church as well. And of course, if you're looking for more of like an individual conversation, you can come and chat with anyone on the oversight team. So that would be myself, Tim, Sherry, Belinda, Mike, or Ben, and just kind of chat with us one-on-one about what you think as well. So we're looking forward to connecting with everybody and gathering your very valuable input in that process. So more to come on that soon in the coming weeks and months. But spoiler alert, most of what we hope and vision for Pearl costs money. So as you can see, there are many ways to give. If you've been around for a while, you've heard this before. But I want to invite you, if you are inspired by the work that we do here, want to support what we're doing now, what we hope to do in the future, we encourage you to give as you are able to do so. We are so deeply appreciative of those of you who do already. Specifically, I want to note that we've seen a slow but steady increase in recurring giving. That specifically is incredibly helpful to our budgeting and our planning process. It's consistent, we can kind of rely on it. Even just a little bit each week or each month goes such a long way. So on behalf of the oversight team, thank you.
So those are ways this year that you can partake in what we are offering and also participate in this family called Pearl Church. At this point in the service, we want to just take a pause and give an opportunity for you to respond if you are interested. And so we're going to actually stop everything and out in the lobby, the people that you saw up here this morning, we're all going to be heading out to tables where if you would like to sign up as interested, you are not making a commitment right now. There are no blood covenants this morning. So you're just saying, hey, I might be interested in helping with the kids, or helping with the toddlers, or being on the music team, or helping with a Sunday morning thing. If you are interested in any of those, please, you can come see us at the tables. We're going to take about 10 minutes right now for that. If you're already plugged in, you feel good about where you're at, or you're just new and you're visiting and it's not time yet, that's totally fine. You just chill in here for a few minutes. In about 10 minutes, we'll be back. We'll have our communion liturgy, and that will be an invitation for us to head upstairs for our potluck together, okay? So about 10 minutes right now. So we'll be back in here at 10:55, all right?